Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Coral, and according to Google, I'm an alcoholic. I've got issues. I've had issues. But anyway, I haven't said much about my own drinking history. I've mentioned little bits in previous videos, but I thought I would share some of the low points. Yeah. I've done some right stupid stuff, as lots of us have. And it's been doing stupid stuff that's made me think I have to stop. More than, the effects on my health or anything like that. So, yes. So, this one particular occasion, it's going back about 20 years, I think. My daughter was 15, 21 years. And we'd gone to see my dad. It was Christmas. And me and my dad never got on really well. Mind you, didn't get on with anybody really well. He struggled just with that in general. And me and him are quite similar in that sense, or was similar. He's not with me anymore. Yes, so we had very similar personalities. So it probably clashed. Anyway, that's going off point. I was there with my daughter. We decided to go to the local pub. Never a good idea, really, to add that into the mix. It was already quite volatile with me and my dad. But anyway, we went to the pub. We sat there. I went to the bar to get a drink and started chatting with this bloke. Well, getting drinks for us all, and I started chatting with this bloke, and I was there ages, and I was just totally in my own world. I didn't care what else was going on, but my daughter and my dad were waiting for the drink. Anyway, about the time I went back, my dad had something to say, quite rightly, really. It was selfish, but then drinkers, anybody who's got an addiction can be quite selfish. So that started a row. We went back home to his. I ended up hitting him. He was sat in a chair, and I ended up hitting him. He was in his 70s, my dad. Anyway, he jumped out of that chair quicker than you can say alcoholic. Got me up the floor and said, "Don't you ever do that again!" Amazing. He moved so quickly for a pensioner, but anyway, he did. Well, I was having none of that. I'm like, right, we're going. I mean, I couldn't see straight. I was that K-eyed, I couldn't see straight. But I thought it would be a good idea to drive me and my daughter from Bridlington to Bradford. So that's, I don't know, 70, 80 miles, maybe further, I don't know. On Boxing Day. It was after midnight at this point. And he was like, "No, you can't go. You've been drinking, you can't." And he was trying to stop me, but of course, being obstinate, stubborn, I'm like, I'm going. So I packed me and my daughter into the car and off I set. My daughter told me later that she was actually praying to God that we would get home safe. She was that scared. Anyway, God must have been listening. Because after about a mile maybe, I realised I had a flat tyre. How I realised I had a flat tyre, I have no idea. Like I say, I could barely see straight. So to notice that. So I got out of the car, pulled over, got out of the car, and I was like, oh, what am I going to do? I mean, ordinarily I could have changed the tyre, but I was pissed. It was dark. And I was like, oh. Anyways, luck would have it. What was that moving then? I think it were a rat. Just parked in a car park. There's greenery. Something moved. I think it were a rat. Anyway, distracted much, Coral? All the time. You'll have to get used to it. Well, you don't have to get used to it. You just click off and never watch me again. But anyway, yes, as luck would have it, a black Mariah drove past. And it had to drive down to the roundabout and come back to get where I was parked. And he was just a few feet away from me, got out of his van, obviously, and said, "Is everything okay, madam?" And obviously, as soon as I answered, he realised I'd been drinking. Arrested me, took us both to a local police station, and then took me and my daughter to another one in Beverley. It was an unmanned police station, and he just left us there. He took the car, obviously took my keys, and just left us at this police station. There was nobody there. It was just me and her. I couldn't get any sleep. There was nowhere to lie down and sleep it off. So I was basically awake all night, and then they let us go at 6 a.m. I'm sure I was probably still over the limit, to be fair. But they let us go, and I had to drive back to Bradford. Anyway, I ended up going to court, and I got a fine of £237 or something, which my dad paid. Shouldn't have done. But anyway, he did. And I got a 16-month driving ban. And I accepted it. You know, it was a ball ache not being able to drive my car anymore. But I was like, it's the best thing that could have happened once it's sobered up. Because what if I'd have had a crash and killed my daughter and survived? Or what if I'd run somebody else over and killed them but survived? Imagine living with that all your life. So what happened was the absolute best thing that could have happened. And I do believe it was divine intervention, because I can count on one hand the amount of times I've had a flat tyre in 34 years driving. So yeah, it was meant to be. Anyway, I did a driving course. I got my ban shortened to 12 months. And it was a good moment getting back in my car, I tell you. That was a sobering lesson. And now I live in a camper van, in case you were wondering, if you've not seen me before. And this is my home. So if I were to lose my licence now, I lose my home. So it's an even more serious matter for me. And if you're interested in knowing more about my camper van life, I'll link my other channel below. You can check me out. So yes, has anybody else had drink driving offences? I've got a few things that I've got on my list of stupid things I've done. And I'll talk more about them in a different video. Also, if there's anybody who's interested in sharing the story on here, then you can contact me below. My email's below. We can either do a face-to-face interview if it's practical, or an interview via Zoom. So that'll be pre-recorded. Well, they'll all be pre-recorded. Or you can even write your story and send it to me and I can read it out. Because I think that'll be interesting for people as well. I just don't want this channel to be just about me. So yes, that's it really. Anyway, thank you to everybody who's subscribed and everybody who comments. Not many people at the moment, but it takes time, doesn't it? I've got an interview lined up this weekend, and there's a potential 3 other people who are interested. And coming on, telling their story, so that's good. Right, I'll leave it there. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.